Good evening and welcome, class of 2022. My name is Camilo Gomez Rivas. I am a professor in the Department of Literature and director of the undergraduate program in the department. Today, we mark the occasion of your college graduation, of your perseverance and success. And today we celebrate specifically your degree with us here in literature. We recognize your devotion to exploring the world in this special and focused and way, and your achievement in fulfilling this rigorous program of study, one that took years of concentration and effort. It wasn't nothing. This was a major effort on your part. And it is one that will constitute also a basis for a lifelong relationship with books, with writing, with creativity, and with thinking deeply about how culture and meaning work, a set of skills and a way of being in the world that you will take with you on the great adventure that awaits you. These moments, these graduation moments, these milestones are peculiar. They are heightened and marked in a special way. Part of you can try to resist them. What's the big deal? You were at similar moments before. There are many more ahead. Others have been here. But at the same time, it's beautiful and meaningful to take a moment to look around, to look behind you and look ahead. It's what this moment affords you. What's special about it? You have climbed a mountain, taken the view. Thank all of those who helped you climb it. Reflect on what it took to get here. Be thankful and be proud at the same time, because we are certainly proud of you. And so while you are up here, I wanted to begin by thanking you for spending this time with us, for dedicating the time and the many hours of effort to read and understand and communicate, for cultivating this intellectual community and giving the support, the sharing, and the caring that such a community demands and thrives on. We want to congratulate you on a deeply meaningful accomplishment and on a major step in your life, on a job well done during an extraordinarily difficult period that we've been going through. We hope you have enjoyed the process of discovery and the insights and the relationships that you have made with each other and with us, with your advisors, professors, and administrators in the department. None of this would be possible without your sustained commitment to each other and to the virtues and ideas that we have been cultivating together. I wanted to take a moment to thank the undergraduate team, Heidi Flores, Laura McShane, and Dylan Davies, whose efforts are making this event possible. The program for tonight is very straightforward. My colleagues, Professors Jennifer Tsang and Filippo Gianferrari, will speak. Then a group of us from the undergraduate program will read out the names of those graduating today. Then Professor and Literature Chair Carla Ficero will announce the Literature Department's awards. And finally, Senior Literature Student Max Virtue Hill will read a selection of poetry.
Good evening. How are y'all feeling tonight? All right, when Camilo asked me if I would make some remarks today, I answered without hesitation, of course. Rituals, time markers, celebrations. I love occasions like this. I mean, I honestly live for them. I felt grateful to be given this small chance to accompany you as you begin your walk out of these woods, across the fields and down the hill to the sea, to the world beyond. I felt lucky to have this chance to wish you well as you go forth. But I have a confession to make. When I sat down to reflect, when I sat down to write, I felt tired. The last 2 years have taken a toll on me and maybe on you too. And I wondered if I was the right person to celebrate you in this public way, if I could feel inspired enough myself to inspire you. Meanwhile, where is Max? Max and I were emailing back and forth about which poem she might read. She sent me a poem by Langston Hughes that was arresting, moving, relevant, and absolutely devastating. With mixed feelings, I asked her if she could find something that felt just as relevant, just as true, but was also more appropriate for a celebration. So she sent me a beautiful poem that she had written that was intimate yet voluminous in its thinking, and that ended on a very grim note. So we were both coming up against the same question. How can we best live in the world as it is and still celebrate? I suggested perhaps she could write a new poem. I gave her the following prompt. If you could say anything to this particular group on this particular day, what would it be? What is there, truthfully, to celebrate? And then I went back to wrestling with my own remarks. It took some time for my colleague, poet T.C. Tolbert's words to surface. We teach what we need to learn. If anyone needed the prompt I had given Max, it was me. Those of you who have been in class with me know that I'm obsessed with context and point of view. In order for you to understand what I'm here to celebrate, it's helpful for you to have a little backstory. Like some of you who are transfer students, I'm relatively new to UCSC. I arrived in the summer of 2020. The day after I visited the campus to pick up my office key, the campus shut down. Businesses were closed, those that were open had restrictions in place, libraries were closed, Bad Animal was closed, Food Bin was only letting in 4 people at a time. Walking through downtown Santa Cruz for the first time was a little like walking through a Hollywood set. The buildings, some of them were just facades. There was nothing inside them, no life. And then there were the wildfires, evacuating, coming back, the smoke that gave us yet another reason to stay inside. Somehow, the school year started. I taught my first class. I attended my first faculty meeting. I met my colleagues and students, but it was all online. Had I really taught my first class? Had I really met my colleagues and students? It was strangely possible to simultaneously teach a class of 100 students while being alone in my room. I remember the last day of my first 2 classes, how jarring it was when I pressed leave meeting and the students vanished. There was no lingering in the doorway or the hall, no walking out of the building together. 1 minute they were there, the next they were gone. Some of you are in this room today. I cried when you disappeared. You see, I didn't know anyone else. To paraphrase Rilke, with the exception of my family, Mika, and my cat, you alone were real to me. And then I had the joy of meeting some of you in person. Because of the pandemic, you might feel that there are things you missed out on. But there are also things you learned simply by surviving it. I have been a humble witness to this learning process. Persistence, adaptability, resourcefulness, resilience, community, friendship. You taught me these things by example. You taught me how to live in this new world. What is there truthfully to celebrate? I'm here to celebrate the stories Serena wrote in tandem with the feminist film class she was taking. Frederick's willingness to listen and Abe's willingness to speak. I'm here to celebrate Jillian's ability to write creatively and critically at once. Yulia's fire for learning, Jade's resistance to cusk, Sydney's senior reading, Zach's hard-earned clarity, and his suit. I'm here to celebrate Ian's talking bear, Navi's lions, Hendrik's bells, Amy's poems written in collaboration with the internet. I'm here to celebrate Francis for arriving to class already knowing what an artist is, and Adriana's daring. I'm here to celebrate Max's sense of justice, Maybell for helping to keep Rizal's Kundiman alive. I'm here to celebrate Marvin's transformation, Exley's persistence, Molly's insistence on self-love and self-preservation. I'm here to celebrate Brenna picking Molly up from workshop, her kindness as well as her mind. I'm here to celebrate Litsy's courage. I'm here to celebrate the classes Eve's designed and taught, Allie's first letterpress book, Ev's first play. I'm here to celebrate Emerson for writing stories whose characters and audience are one and the same. Yuri's reading responses, Cameron's devotion to her novel, Galilea's Virgin Mary subway sighting. I'm here to celebrate every time Sierra visited my office hours with her camera on, and the fact that Annie is my neighbor in real life. I'm here to celebrate Kushal's questions and Sachi's voice. I'm here to celebrate those of you whom I've never met, whose essays on literature have moved me. Christopher, Caitlin, Rose, Sarah, Jonathan, Isabella. I'm here to celebrate all of you who have completed extensive language coursework. I want to be more like you. I'm here to celebrate those of you who remain mysterious to me, those of you who aren't present today, those of you whose faces I'm seeing for the first time, whose books I hope to read someday, whose voices I hope to hear. And perhaps because I'm a parent myself, I'm here also to celebrate your parents, your ancestors, those who made the trip here to celebrate with us, those who couldn't be here and are celebrating with us from afar. Students, you literally wouldn't be here if it weren't for them. The expectation for a keynote speech at a graduation is that the speaker will dispense words of wisdom to the crowd, but as many of you know, I'm more interested in thinking with you than for you. Still, I feel compelled to give you something. It's something my father gave to me, a line by his favorite person, Confucius. It translates roughly to, when three people are walking, one will be a teacher, or among three people, one will be your teacher. My father liked to expand it to mean everyone will be your teacher. I have certainly found this to be true of my students. It isn't just 1 in 3. Every student teaches me something. I'd like to draw your attention to the poem in your program, in part because it expands the Confucius line even further to include non-human creatures. It's by Jenny George, and it comes from her book, The Dream of Reason. Intelligence. How easily the deer move between the field and the woods. Only we know a thing by its periphery, the meadow edged with trees, or happiness with its horizon of pain. From inside the house, I watch them grazing, their pooled memory guiding them into the shade, then into the grass again. If I have any advice for you, it's to walk out of these woods together. Don't cross the fields alone. Join forces. Help each other. Let your friends teach you. Teach your friends. Keep them close. As you make your way down the hill and into the world, be like the deer. Eat together. Follow your instinct. Pool your memory. Let it guide you into the shade, then into the grass again. Thank you all so much for being real to me, and wild congratulations.
Hello, everybody. As I said, it's going to be very hard to speak up for Jennifer, but I'm going to try it. and thank you for listening. So, when in the Divine Comedy, Dante Alighieri narrates his descent through the lower part of hell, where the sins of fraud are punished, he recounts his meeting with the mythological hero, Ulysses, the embodiment of human cunning and intellectual inquiry. From Ulysses' mouth, Dante learns about the hero's last journey, how after wandering around the Mediterranean for years, he couldn't simply return home and care for his family and country, but had to quench his thirst for knowledge and push beyond the limits of the then known world, the Strait of Gibraltar, where Hercules has set his columns to mark the point of non-return, beyond which humanity should not dare go. A skillful orator, Ulysses needs only a few eloquent and well-delivered words to persuade his now-aged companions to follow after him on this desperate journey of discovery. And I'm quoting his words. "Brothers," I said, "O you who, having crossed 100,000 dangers, reach the west to this brief waking, time that still is left unto your senses, you must not deny experience of that which lies beyond the sun and of the world without people. Consider well the seed that gave you birth. You were not made to live your lives as brutes, but to be followers of virtue and knowledge." When I was 12, my middle school literature teacher, Professor Manuela Formighieri, gave us Ulysses' speech to memorize. After drilling us, she told us that Ulysses' exhortation to live for virtue and knowledge had to become our motto as human beings. The fact that today I'm a literature teacher and a scholar of Dante is a testament to the power of Ulysses' ideal and the teacher's worth. Although my thoughts for her were rather unfriendly during those afternoons while I was trying to memorize Dante's line. I was puzzled, moreover, by the obvious issue implied by the fact that this model of humanity was stuck in Dante's hell. I thought bad people went to hell, not good ones. Nonetheless, I pressed on and pursued the humanistic ideal voiced by Dante's Ulysses. And when, like you today, I finally reached the day of my graduation, I felt very proud at having achieved knowledge and hopefully a little bit of virtue. I'm a first-generation college graduate, as my dad never went to high school and had to work 2 jobs to support his family since he was 11, while my mom, although matriculated, stopped pursuing a college degree after her family moved from the south to the north of Italy in search of financial stability. The day I graduated, to be honest, I felt I had accomplished something that nobody in my family had ever done. Like Ulysses, I had reached beyond Hercules' columns and conquered the world without people, well, certainly without my family. I was convinced I had done it with my own intellectual resources alone. I was obviously proud and selfish. That day's victory, albeit mine, had been made possible by a multitude of people who had cared for me and supported me. First and foremost, my parents, who would have rather hoped that I studied to become a dentista rather than a dentista, a dentist rather than a Dante scholar. This is a joke we all cracked each other. But they supported me nonetheless, both materially and spiritually. It was also thanks to those who along the way had shared a house and meals with me, as well as spent sleepless nights with me preparing for exams. There were also those among both peers and teachers who had nourished my intellectual journey and inspired me. Yes, including my middle school teacher. Yet, with good piece of Professor Formighieri and her mnemonic exercise, today I take issue with Dante's Ulysses. His pursuit of knowledge and virtue is solipsistic. It is for his own benefit alone and comes at the cost of severing all human bonds and disregarding one's duty toward his fellow humans. In short, Dante identifies Ulysses with the colonial project of taking the earthly paradise by force. Dante's journey, instead, takes him precisely where Ulysses wanted to go and beyond that point. But it is an integral journey of knowledge that leads him to embrace and to pursue a healthy human community. Today we're here to celebrate your achievements, yes, but I invite you also to take joy and pleasure in acknowledging all those who have supported you during this difficult and formative journey, from families to friends, as well as teachers, mentors, and also the invisible hands and lives of all those whose work make this campus run and have never stopped to work, even during lockdowns and remote learning. Today is a day to be thankful and to understand that we are all interconnected. One's achievements are always made possible by the support and love of others, but come also at the expense of others, as too many do not equally benefit from our human consortium. Thus, today is also a day that calls us all to decide what role we wish to play in a deeply broken world. In his 1947 novel, The Plague, a powerful allegory of the human condition and the mandate to fight against infectious ideologies and despotic powers such as the Nazi occupation of France, the French writer and Nobel Prize Albert Camus recounts a fictitious outbreak of bubonic plague in the Algerian city of Oran. Its main character and narrator of the story, Dr. Bernard Rieu, is among the first to recognize the evidence of the outbreak and call for extreme measures to be taken. His advice is obviously opposed, as we know, at first, but eventually he is put in charge of organizing the resistance against the fast-spreading disease and works side by side with a small band of collaborators, all very unassuming people, anti-heroic and animated by very different motives. Yet, in the words of Dr. Rieu, there always comes a time in history where he who dares to say that 2 and 2 equals 4 is condemned to death. The teacher knows it, and the question is not to find out what reward or punishment awaits this logic. The question is to find out, yes or no, whether 2 and 2 equals 4. At the time, those among our fellow citizens who risked their lives had to decide if there was a plague, yes or no, and if they should fight it, yes or no. As you take a step further in your life journey, we hope to have helped you become more aware of the many and manifold plagues that afflict our world today. We may be tempted to feel depressed and powerless when looking at this world plagued by pandemics, wars, shootings, and countless other injustices. But as Camus argues in his novel, we can also find support and inspiration in the many experiences of human love and solidarity, and in the gift of friendship that can bless even the most desperate of our endeavors and give us positive energy to carry out our duty. Humanity, Camus reminds us, is not an idea. We cannot love and fight for humanity as an abstraction or in theory. We need to love and fight for someone. We can all share in this collective endeavor by choosing to heal all and everything we can have an influence on. We might find that it's much harder to understand how to heal, what to heal, and what difference our contribution can actually make. But as the character of Dr. Rieu warns us once more, we cannot heal and know at the same time. So let us heal as quickly as possible. That's the most urgent thing. No matter how broken the system, there is always something I can do, and that will bring joy even if knowledge of the ultimate outcome of my actions escapes me. I can always choose to encourage, to support, and to see those who are invisible. I can always choose to embrace, to love, and to heal. I can always recognize that today is not about me, Today is about us. And even when today's memory will fade away, that experience of belonging will never pass away. Thank you.
Congratulations to all of you, and thank you everyone for being here. It's my great pleasure to announce the Literature Department prizes for this year. These prizes are adjudicated by the department's undergraduate program committee, who review all the nominations and determine the recipients of each prize. I want to thank the committee for all its work: Camilo Gomez Rivas, Jennifer Tseng, Filippo Gianferrari, and Amanda Smith. Thanks also to Heidi Flores, Dylan Davies, and Laura McShane for their dedicated staffing of the committee and their commitment to literature's undergraduate program. And of course, thanks also to the department manager, Amy Tessier, for coordinating all of us. Thank you. As I read the prizes, if you're here in person, feel free to stand up as you're named. That way we get to see you. The Best Undergraduate Essay Prize is awarded to a major or minor for the best essay written in any literature course. Isabella Balbi, whose concentration is general literature, receives this prize for her essay, "Unable Are the Loved to Die, for Love is Immortality, Existentialism, Humanism, and Absurdism in the Seventh Seal." Her mentor was Professor Juan Poblete. Congratulations. The Best Senior Essay Prize, for which a student must be nominated by a member of the faculty, is awarded for the best essay prepared for the department's exit requirement. Jonathan Martin, whose concentration is general literature, receives this prize for placing the suburban subject. His mentor was Professor Rob Wilson. Congratulations. The Best Senior Creative Writing Project Prize in Fiction is awarded for the best fiction or prose project prepared by a senior in the creative writing concentration. Jade Hickey receives the prize for Love Blood. Her mentor was Professor Jennifer Tseng. The Best Senior Creative Writing Project Prize in Poetry is awarded for the best poetry project prepared by a senior in the creative writing concentration. Amy Lewitis receives the prize for her collection of poetry. Her mentor was Professor Ronaldo Wilson. Congratulations. The Best Undergraduate Creative Writing in Spanish or Dual Language Format Prize is awarded to a major or minor for the best creative piece in any genre written in Spanish or in a dual language format. Galilea Garcia, whose concentration is general literature, receives this prize for La Primera Aparición. Her mentor was Melissa Sanders Self. Finally, the Kenneth Andrew Graham Memorial Endowment Scholarship, named in memory of Kenneth Andrew Graham, a gifted writer and graduate of UCSC's creative writing program, is awarded to a student, and I quote, "showing a quest for knowledge and curiosity, who is accepted to the creative writing concentration and nominated by a member of the faculty." Kushal Gujadur is the recipient of the Kenneth Andrew Graham Memorial Endowment Scholarship. Congratulations, everyone.
tonight I'm going to be reading for you guys sections 1 through 6 of Appalachian Elegy by the late, the great Bell Hooks. Hear them cry, the long dead, the long gone. Speak to us from beyond the grave. Guide us, that we may learn all the ways to hold tender this land. Hard clay direct rock upon rock, charred earth in time. Strong green growth will rise here. Trees back to life, native flowers, pushing the fragrance of hope, the promise of resurrection. Such then is beauty, surrendered against all hope. You are here again, turning slowly, nature as chameleon. All life change, and changing again, awakening hearts. Steady moving from unnamed loss into fierce, deep grief that can bear all burdens, even the long passage into a shadowy dark where no light enters. Night moves through the thick dark, a heavy silence outside near the front window. A black bear stamped down plants, pushing back brush, fleeing man-made confinement, roaming unfettered, confident. Any place can become home. Strutting down a deep hill as though freedom is all in the now, no past, no present. Earthworks, thick brown mud, clinging, pulling a body down, heard wounded earth cry, bequeath to me the hope, ancestral rights, to turn the ground over, to shovel and sift, until history, rewritten, resurrected, returns to its rightful owners. A past to claim, yet another stone lifted to throw against the enemy, making way for new endings, random seeds, spreading over the hillside wild roses, come by fierce wind and hard rain, unleashed furies. Here in this touched wood, a dirge, a lamentation for earth to live again, earth that is all at once a grave, a resting place, a bed of new beginnings, avalanche of splendor. Small horses ride me, carry my dreams of prairies and frontiers where once the first people roamed, claimed union with the earth, no right to own or possess, no sense of territory, all boundaries placed by unseen ones. Here I will give you thunder, shatter your hearts with rain, let snow soothe you, make you healing water, clear sweet, a sacred spring, where the thirsty may drink, animals all. Listen, little sister, angels make their hope here. In these hills, follow me, I will guide you. Careful now, no trespass. I will guide you, word for word, mouth for mouth. All the holy ones embracing us, all our kin, making home here, renegade marooned. Lawless fugitives grace these mountains. We have earth to bind us, the covenant between us can never be broken, vows to live and let live.